Hello, everyone. Good day, good afternoon, good morning, uh, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the second edition of our Quality Conversations Open House Q&A series. This conversation or this webinar is being put together by QBS Global, an emerging thought leader in the area of health quality management. And it is designed really to interact with health professionals to help them better understand or unravel the concept of quality management, provide them with practical solutions to um, ensuring seamless integration of quality management systems into their operations with the overall goal of enhancing the quality of healthcare services offered to its clients. You would agree that the quality of healthcare services in Africa leaves much to be desired, and we are partnering with health professionals like you and health facilities to ensure that this narrative is changed for the better. So you are most definitely welcome. It would be great to know where you are joining us from. So please feel free to make use of the chat. Tell us where you are joining us from and tell us what your expectations are from today's webinar. I know some of you may have registered using the links. Others may just, have sort of tagged along with their friends or colleagues, which is great. But would like to know, what are your expectations? What are you looking to learn from this time? It would also be great to know if you were part of the first webinar, because this is the second edition. Did you join us last month or did you catch the replay? What were your biggest takeaways? Just please share in the chat box so that I can read. I can see a number of us, so it will be great to read from us. I can see Josephine, I can see Felix, I can see John, I can see YB, just a number of people, and it's great to have you. We are thrilled that you could take out the time to join us today. Please let us know where you're joining from. Please let us know what your expectations are. And let us also know if you were part of the first webinar or if you were able to watch the replay ahead of this particular one. Okay, I can see Charles. I'm sorry, I do not want to call the other name so that I don't mispronounce it. So I can see Charles has also joined us. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome, warmly welcome to the second edition of our quality conversations. And like I said earlier, these webinars are intended to deepen your understanding of quality management, and boost your confidence in being able to champion its implementation within your organization. Oh, great. Josephine is joining us for the first time all the way from Rwanda. It's so good to have you here. And she's looking forward to learning and gaining insights about quality improvement practices from other regions. You're in the right place, Josephine. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, that's really the purpose of this conversation, the purpose of this webinar. We want to share practical wisdom or practical strategies that can enhance your knowledge and improve your practice of quality within your organization. So thank you very much, Josephine, for sharing. I look forward to reading from others. Tell us where you're joining us from. Oh, thank you very much. John, thank you very much, John, for joining us from Nigeria. It's your first time. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are happy to have you here. We are happy to have you here attending. Sorry about that. Attending this webinar. You look forward to updating your knowledge on whatever topics on the topics that will be discussed today. That's great to know. That's great to know. one of the hallmarks of quality management systems or implementing quality management systems within an organization is a commitment to lifelong learning, really. You have to be open to new wisdom, new knowledge, new information. That's how you get better. That's how you improve processes. And that's how you strengthen the system within your organization in general. So yes, it's so good to have you here. It's so good to have you here. So very quickly, while the chats keep coming in, I am just going to quickly share my screen. Felix, I see you're writing or typing, and I am eager to read what you write, what you're writing. So please hurry up. It will be great to read from you. But while that's going on, I am just going to now share my screen. I want to just give you a quick run through of QBS Global, the organization QBS Global, so that you know who we are, what we're about, and it helps you to sort of better settle into today's conversation, particularly for those who are joining us for the first time. So yeah, I'm just going to run through that very quickly, very quickly, so that we can get on to the meat of today's conversation. I'm really excited, to have this conversation. Oh, well, not me, I'm not the one facilitating, but basically I'm really excited to be here having this conversation about improving healthcare systems and empowering them in such a way that they are able to better serve their communities, because a healthy nation or a healthy continent, as is being reflected by our current audience, a healthy continent is a wealthy and productive continent. So the healthier we are, the more productive we'll be, the more prosperous we have the potential to become. So investing in health is definitely important, it's definitely critical, and it's something that we should definitely be discussing. So yeah, let me just see if Felix has shared his thoughts before I share my screen. Oh, I see he's still typing. But while that's going on, please, for those of us who have just joined, feel free to share with us where you're joining from, what your expectations are from regarding this webinar. It would be great to read from you. It would be great to read from you. Oh, okay. Felix is also from Rwanda. Oh, great. Great to have you here, Felix. It's your first time too. Beautiful. That's fantastic. He's here to learn and gain insights about quality improvement. Oh, that's great. You're in the right place. And I dare say that our facilitator is a seasoned expert or consultant when it comes to quality management, particularly for the healthcare. So you're in very safe hands. Please relax. Prepare to engage. I have to add that it's important that you prepare to engage during this conversation. Don't just be a passive listener.
All right, so since her network is not coming through, let me turn on my video so you can see who I am. And this is me. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our webinar once again. I'm going to take over the sharing, and it's a single-hour webinar. We've done 15 minutes. We're supposed to be wrapping up with the introductions and who we are at this point, but the network decided that it had a different idea. But we're going to try and make this as quick as possible. And we are also going to ensure that you have the most of the 1 hour that we're going to spend together. We are going to be focusing mainly on the questions that have been sent in already and how to, and answering them, particularly answering them. So I would just run through this slide very quickly, and then we would continue from there. Let me share my screen. And thank you, everyone from Rwanda. Actually, as I open up the document and share my screen, I am super impressed with how far Rwanda has gone. I do see that. I mean, like I said last month, we cannot say no one can ever say we have finally achieved. There's no El Dorado when it comes to quality and healthcare and quality and safety in healthcare. But we can say we have taken XYZ strides. And I dare say Rwanda has taken quite some giant strides, especially given your background. Let me tell you, I actually use Rwanda as a challenge. I pose Rwanda as a case study, as a challenge to healthcare professionals in Nigeria, because I say if Rwanda was able to come through everything that they have had to survive as a nation and have been able to come through so significantly in healthcare provision, in healthcare service delivery and access, then we don't have an excuse as a country. So it is such a delight to have so many Rwandans on board, and I would be it's my delight actually to have to answer your questions. But for now, know that you have achieved a lot as a nation, as a country, in your healthcare service, and we're proud of you on this side of the continent. All right, so I'm going through now who we are. It's delaying to come. I don't want to have to be the one delaying again. Okay, I hope you can see it. Can you even see it yet? Can you see my screen yet? Confirm you can see it if you can. If you can't, let me know that you can't see it yet. Let me find my Teams. Can you see it yet? Not yet. Okay. Yeah, not yet. Can you see it now? I think I can see that you can see it now. Okay. So welcome to QBS Global and our presentation, or our quality conversations for November 2024. Advancing very quickly. We are QBS Global. Quality First Business Solutions Nigeria Limited is the registered name. And we have a heritage of a lot of years of experience combined with consultants across Africa, particularly from South Africa. So we have a lot of South African context and Nigerian context, but we also have experience across other contexts. Our vision is to lead the way in training, education and implementation of effective quality management practices across Africa. And this is our mission. Our value statements, sorry, this is advancing pretty slowly. Okay, our services before our value statements. This is what we do. We we experts in consulting, providing advisory for management systems implementation, for ISO standards training, for ISO standard certification, international healthcare standards implementation, auditing, getting data with which you can drive continuous improvement projects. And I know we had a lot of questions on continuous improvement. And then we are specialized in medical laboratory management. Okay, I think I've advanced more than I've skipped our. Okay, something is not working. All right, so these are our courses. Something is now going up and down. These are the courses that we run through, and you'll see it again at the end. I don't want to spend valuable time running us through this. And these are our values. We have a long-standing expertise, as you had seen in the previous slide. We are results-driven. We have valuable industry insights to share, and we have an unwavering passion for quality. This is why you should listen to us. This is why we are here today speaking with you. All right, so let's go straight into today's conversations. Okay, at any point, if you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and then we'll give you the opportunity to speak if you prefer to speak, or you can type your questions in the chat. Are we together thus far? Let me follow us. Let me be sure that we are all together. Are we together thus far? Keep it engaging, please. All right, okay. So we had quite a number of questions. In fact, last month we struggled to run through all the questions, but this month we try to compress them and get and group them in like terms. Let's go back to basic what's it called now? Mathematics. So we grouped like terms, and so we have these big areas or big challenge areas for people who provided the information. I would pick on some of these, and others we will talk about, you would see us talk about through our social media channels throughout the month. Would address some of these issues during the month. We have people talking about non-compliance of staff. That's as a big challenge, where you have information out there, you have details there, you have standards, but you have people not complying. You have the standard procedures, you have the framework, the quality management systems all set up, but you have people who just decide not to comply. What do you do? This comes to there's a lot of self-governance here. There's a lot of leadership here. There's a lot of emotional intelligence, and there is a lot of interpersonal relationship. I have had in my journey of quality management challenges in having people come on board and buy in and actually comply to things that are supposed to be done. Many times, and I'll not spend too long on this, I'll just hit it straight up. Many times it's an understanding issue, either a lack of full understanding of the requirements that need to be complied to, or that it is being difficult. There's an impedance, there's a challenge. It's the people are finding it difficult to execute, or it's going to be a more difficult way of doing their work. There's more difficulty than ease in complying with what is being requested, and then you get a revolt. I don't want to call it revolution. You get a revolt. Okay. However, when you have when you start off by engaging people, for example, let me go straight to practicals. There is a new procedure for, let's say, based on scientific discoveries or based on published work or based on new research, it has been found that there has to be a new protocol for decontamination or disinfection of workspaces in a medical laboratory or of common spaces in a healthcare organization or in a healthcare facility. You have been used to, it's been very easy to probably get, now this is me going way out, okay? You have people being used to using ethanol, for example, and it's been working. There's no need for any long protocol. You just dilute and then you go on. And then there probably comes a research that says, okay, now it is better to use chlorhex. Every time I have to say this word, I bite my, I roll over my tongue. Chlorhexidamine. Okay, I think I got it now. And people now have to learn a different way. Maybe it's more difficult. Maybe there's a different concentration and they don't have the exact graduations or utensils or rather equipment to use to prepare this. It becomes more difficult. And then people will be like, what was wrong with what we were doing before? Nothing. And then you have people deciding that they're not going to comply with it, for example, okay? However, if as a leader, and once you're in the field of quality, health, and safety, you are a leader. As a leader in the healthcare space, if we come across and say, hey, there's something new that we have to improve, or there's a new research that has released something, before coming to say, this is what we're going to be doing next, it is engaging leadership, whatever leadership means within your context. It doesn't necessarily mean going all the way to the C-suite, but whatever leadership means in the context that you are, engaging leadership to say, there is a change, there's a need for a change, there's a need for an adjustment to a protocol. This is what is recommended. This is what research has shown. This is what is being obtained in other contexts. Do you see any challenge in us executing it this way? What do you think about it? Before it goes on as this is a new way of doing things. So this is why I said there's a lot of emotional intelligence, people management, and self-governance when it comes to getting people to engage and comply with standards or requirements of quality. So having spent about 10 minutes on that, I'm going to get straight to the next one. So what if the leadership does not show support? You are here and the leadership does not show support. You're trying to engage with the leadership and they're not showing support. They are unable to carry on, or they are unable to provide the resources. Or so when we talk about, I was at a training last week, exactly, and we're talking about leadership support, or the leaders. I was with the leaders and they were talking about different things, or different things, different scenarios that they were facing. And I said, okay, in ISO standards, it's called lack of leadership support or leadership commitment, lack of leadership commitment. And they would say another one, oh, the leaders are not providing the resources. I say, okay, it's lack of leadership. You're not having leadership commitment, or there's no evidence of leadership commitment or support. And they would say, oh, so many different things. They are unwilling to change the way of doing things. I say it's the lack of, it's a very broad, big, overarching first clause 4 on the ISO standards, if you're conversant with it or with them. So it's a very critical part. It's a very crucial part of the entire implementation drive for quality management. What do you do when you do not have the leadership support that you desire to see? What do you do when the leadership is not helping you, is not going ahead of you, is not making a straight path, making an ease and creating an ease of flow for you to do your work? What do you do? What you do is you bring in data. You're talking about leadership here, not the team. Leadership mostly works with data. When once you bring in data to show the benefits of whatever improvement initiative is being proposed, you are most likely to get a buy-in. And you would have the same hacks as change management. I can't go fully into change management. You can, look up our change management course. It's the same hack for change management, in that you have to look for who are your strongest dissenters and try to engage them, try to get their buy-in from leadership. Do you have any strong dissenters at the leadership level? Work hard to get them on board. But once you get them on board, it's easier for you to get other leaders on board. You also need to work hard to, like I said, show the data, bring the evidence to bear on why this change or improvement initiative is important. Then you are able to, once you're able to sell this, sell the benefits, sell the profitability, sell the efficiency, share the achievement of outcomes in line with the organization's vision and mission. Look, if you're not tying what your continuous improvement initiatives or your quality improvement drives to the vision and mission and the achievement of outcomes of the organization, it will be difficult to get leadership to support. Once you're able to tie this in, you are going to get leadership to support you. What about funding? I love talking about funding because I work in primarily resource constraint settings. And sometimes we see, the world is a global village now. We see a lot of things are available. We see best practices. We watch series, healthcare related series, and we see how things are done. We see equipment, we see state-of-the-art equipment, machinery, tools that are being used to make work easier and faster. And we desire to have these things. But many times our leaders will say there are no funds, there are no funds. I tell my clients, primarily think about working. When you're thinking about solutions, think about it from the point of, I assume we do not have any funds. There are no funds to achieve this. We have constraints to resources. That is where innovation comes in. And then you begin to think about, so that your focus moves from, oh, I'm not getting the funds. There's a part where the funds have to come out. There are some things that the funds have to come out for. But once the leadership sees that you are putting in a lot of efforts and achieving things with the scarce or resources that you have available, they'll be more willing to make resource available when you say you actually do need funds. Because like a friend of mine will say, you can't throw money at everything. You can't throw money to solve every problem. Money does not solve. Money answers all things, or money does not solve every problem. You don't just throw money in a corporate world. You don't just throw money at everything, because the more you throw money at it, the more you can, without properly thinking about innovative ideas or solutions, you might be creating more problems in the long term, or you might be creating a lot of waste or redundancies within the system, which you don't want to. Okay. Then we also talk about establishing quality improvement initiatives. This is the one that was a lot of it we had. Establishing quality improvement initiatives. We had it in various, I glanced through the questions and we had it in different terms. Establishing quality improvement initiatives, getting people to getting buy-in for quality improvement initiative, ideating quality improvement initiatives. And I would say, when you want to think about quality improvement initiatives, I would quote what someone said to me recently when I was engaging on a particular improvement. And the person said, we can't give what we want. Okay, we give what the people want. Well, this was talking about it's talking about marketing. Okay, and going out to get new markets for a particular product. for a particular service, and said, we can't give in defense of, just as the competition went on, said we can't give what we want to give. We have to give what the people want. And I said, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. So establishing quality improvement initiatives is not, we can't start from a place of, oh, I see a very good idea, opportunity here. I see something very good that has happened and I want to implement it in my place as well. It is beyond that. It goes beyond that. It goes into, you have to first of all think about what are the pain points of the organization, of my establishment where I am. What are the pain points of the department? What are the low-hanging fruits that we can gather to move the organization or my team or my unit forward? In thinking about these or in establishing these, you can have a clearer picture on what would be easy to sell as a quality improvement initiative. What will be easy to sell? What will be easy to get buy-in for? What will be easy to get resources for? And what will be easy to implement? Those are the easiest parts. So as you go along, you pick the longer, because have you ever been in a place, okay, let me give an example of our country, Nigeria. I stay in the FCT, Abuja, the capital, and we have a new leadership, government at the helm of affairs. And recently, there has been a lot of work on infrastructure, on the roads, civil infrastructure, like civil work on the roads, on the drainages, etc. And there came a point where people began to murmur or complain, because there were areas that had bigger infrastructure problems that were not being attended to, at the expense of areas that did not have, that had little, in the eyes of the people, that had little to no infrastructural challenges. And people began to complain that, why are you focusing on these areas when there are these areas that some of them actually share borders that have more burning problems to be fixed? Why are you so a mentor friend of mine will say, don't fix a problem, don't try to solve a problem that is not okay. Don't try to solve a problem that is not there. There's no problem there. I'm trying to solve it. Don't create a problem in trying to solve a problem that is not. So establishing quality initiatives, you have to find the pain point for the team, for the organization, the low-hanging fruits, and focus on them. Put laser focus on these areas. When you put laser focus on these areas, you have people say, yeah, yes, we need it. We need this fix. And you see everybody putting all hands be on deck to solve those problems. Please feel free to drop in any comments or questions at this point or at any point that you deem necessary. And I will make sure to also, let me just make sure that, okay, we don't have any comments yet, to make sure to attend to them or respond to them. All right. Achieving level 3 of hospital accreditation. Now, level 3 of hospital accreditation depends on the, I'm not 100% clear on the standards being used. So this, depending on the, so many standards, many accreditation bodies have different ways of grading or assessing or helping people evaluate or create points of where they are. And I'm not 100% clear on what body uses level 3, 1, 2, 3, and up to what most likely 5 for hospital accreditation. I know for laboratory, if I hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I know it's SLIPTA, most likely SLIPTA. But when it comes to hospital, I'm not 100% clear on it. But I would say in general, as a rule of thumb, if you have a desire to achieve a next level of accreditation or of compliance or covering more in your quality management system, you have to understand the requirements for that level, making sure that the previous levels have been ingrained as a culture. If they have not been ingrained as a culture within the organization yet, you'll find yourself going back and fixing things. You still have things to be fixed. You still have need to refix things, that things are not totally solved. You have issues reoccurring. You have problems that appear to have been solved in the past reoccurring. Why? Because they have not been properly ingrained as a culture. Once that culture of quality is not yet ingrained at levels 1 and 2, level 3 will moving into or advancing into. So ensure that levels 1 and 2 have been ingrained as a culture where people do it without prompting, people do it without reminders, people do it without checks, people do it as a norm, as a day-to-day, as the way they live and breathe, right? That done, then ensure to understand clearly the requirements of level 3 and the strategic actions that need to be taken. Once these first 2 are covered, implementation is now stepwise, little by little, taking from known that links. Most times it links to a known. The unknown at a new level links to a known from a previous level. And if I would have opportunity, I would share during the month probably on my own personal feed, or we'll share it on the organization's social media feed, the interrelationship between the different levels of quality management in the implementation. This is actually coming from WHO. Okay, coming from WHO QMS implementation. And there's that interconnectedness between the different levels across quality control, quality management, quality control, quality assurance, quality management, and the quality system. There's that interrelationship, there's that cut across. So if you don't fully understand the requirements at the next level or at the level you are aspiring to, it will be difficult for you to implement it effectively. Okay? Measuring effectiveness. This maybe next month we would not do an open house. Maybe we would focus on a particular topic, because we have 2 carryover topics. One from last month on validation and equipment verification, or equipment verification and validation, and now measuring effectiveness is actually wide. But with the right tools, with the right data points, if you have data, if your data collection methods are effective, if you are measuring the right things, the things that need to be measured in line with the outcomes or the goals that have been set, that's the first step. Once you're able to do these 2 things, or this one cardinal thing, then you're able to the only next thing will be using the right tool to picture the data, or to put the data together and interpret the data. That's all about measuring effectiveness of a particular system. Well, in a snapshot, because we have 1 hour and 15 minutes left. Ensuring sustainability. This is not a new conversation. And I mean, I did come across a particular video that shows how much disposables are used for just 1 surgery. It was so much. I can't remember the exact figure, but it was so much. Counting from the gloves to the disposable, to the overalls, to the PPEs, to the utensils. I mean, the disposables that were used for the surgery itself, they were so many, like so many. And that calls to bear the import of sustainability in healthcare. There has to be that clear, we have to be thinking it for us to intentionally reduce it. I really cannot delve fully into ensuring sustainability, but I would share this one nugget. Let's keep it at the forefront of our minds. Let's keep it at the forefront of our minds. Once we keep it at the forefront of our minds, that we want to reduce, we want to be careful with our footprint and how much we are using, how much we are disposing, still ensuring that we are keeping quality, health, and safety uncompromised. Okay, we can't compromise on it, but we have to have innovative new ways. That's tautology. Innovative ways of ensuring that we are, as a team, as an organization, as a healthcare sector in general, that we remain sustainable. And this is only looking at one part, which is the environmental. Okay, we also have other parts of sustainability where you're looking at your team, where you're looking at, and I don't know what role the person who asked this question holds or where they work in, because if you are as a management or leadership or senior leadership role, or you are holding senior leadership responsibility, you have a lot to think about when it comes to sustainability for your team. How are you working towards ensuring that they are able to thrive as an as a people, where they're able to come to the office, they're able to get they're able to thrive. I think that's just a good way of putting it. So this is one that we cannot finish today. So I have tried to touch a little bit on the biggest challenges that we have talked about in buckets regarding quality management implementation. So people asked, how do we document incident or documentation of incidents? Documentation of incidents, a story comes to mind, but I don't think I have a lot of time for stories. Okay, a story comes to mind. In summary, let's not focus on, in addition to documenting when things have actually happened, let's build a culture of documenting near misses, of having our team members document near misses. When once near misses and errors are documented, incidents will follow. When we form a habit of documenting incidents, right, and incidents, non-compliances, we would most likely have team members, because action has to be taken when there's an incident. So you have people weary of being called out. It's a natural human response. You have people weary of being called out, weary of being, of there being a negative connection to their work being documented. But once there's a habit of documenting near misses, documenting errors, incidents will follow. Incidents will follow. And I will touch two more points that can be done quickly, and the others you just follow our social media handles and you would see the responses as we go along in the month of December. All right. How to implement quality management using AI. I chose that because AI is an evolving tool, and is a tool that, as it's learning us, we are learning it. Or is it the other way around? As we are learning AI, AI is learning us. Okay, and there's a lot of possibilities with AI and quality management. The implementation of quality management, AI cannot take away. Let me put this disclaimer or this point down here as a starter. AI cannot replace our minds and our thinking as quality management, as people in the field of quality management. It is not possible, because it does not have full understanding and full, it does not work in the context, and each context is unique. I hope we're following. Every context is unique. So because the contexts are unique, the solutions are unique. The innovations are also unique. And so you can't template an implementation drive for quality management from one organization, even within the same country, to another. You can't template it because they're different contexts. So AI cannot template it, but AI can be used. AI is a versatile. I use AI. I use AI very well. I use AI very well for quality management, in quality management, very well. However, I don't relegate research, thinking, and sitting into the reality of the context within which I need to create a solution or implementation for. I don't relegate those, because all of them work together, even to the prompts. You know, AI works with prompts. Based how efficient the prompt you, the level of efficiency, or the level of how good the information AI serves you is dependent on how good your prompt is. So the better your prompt, the better the information it's able to curate for you. And so to be able to use AI to implement quality management is an evolving process that doesn't happen in one day. And then you cannot also depend on it. You cannot also depend on it to give you all the answers. It doesn't take away the need for you to do research, for you to find out what has been, and for you to place yourself in the context of the organization. I've talked about leadership support, and then I'll finally look at improving staff knowledge on quality implementation. This is easy. It is using every method, every communication tool possible to continue to speak. You just keep speaking. You keep speaking, you keep hammering the points. I don't know. It just occurred to me. Is it that do we have more females in quality management? I don't know. I'll think about it more. I'll think about health, about the communities that I'm in, and I'll think about the ratios of male to female. Or maybe I'll ask AI if we have more females than males, because females tend to be able to talk and repeat themselves, but males aren't quite that. With all due respect, it's just the way they are made up, right? It's just the way we are all framed. We're all framed differently. So it's about driving this conversation, helping people understand it. This now ties us back to the beginning, the why, helping people understand the why, and then finding information that is relatable, distilling this across the different media, understanding that people learn differently. Some people learn better with audio, some people learn better with audio visual, some people learn better with text, and some people learn better by doing. So you have to, when you are trying to improve staff knowledge on different aspects of quality implementation, we have to make sure that the tools that you're using cuts across the different learning styles, the different learning methodologies for individuals, so that if one is not covered by, if one does not speak to a particular segment of individuals, another will. So let me stop sharing and look at our faces. Oh, the videos are off. And let me, speak to us directly. How has it been? Do you have any questions at this point? Where are we at? Oh, I wasn't seeing the chat. Okay. All right, I missed some. Oh, whoa, there's quite a lot. Okay, all right. Okay. Let me go through the chats. Yes, a person-centered approach, person-centered. Because let me use clients with you. Bienvenue. Your name is Bienvenue. That's impressive. Nyongabo. Nyongabo. I think I got that. If I didn't get that, pardon me. Bienvenue is easier for me because I speak French. So bienvenue, yes. Client-centered, person-centered approach, yes, is a surefire way to make sure that you're addressing what people want. How do you deal with the challenge associated with new recruits? Most times people have little to no idea of what you're discussing, and it takes time, it takes a long time to bring them to speed. With this period of conscious transition, many things could, within this period of conscious transition, many things could go wrong. How would you manage this effectively? Having a structure where people are able to learn A, B, C. And let's not put people in primary grade 6 when they're supposed to be in grade 1. Let's not layer on them the expectations of grade 6 when they're supposed to be in grade 1. And if they're supposed to come in at grade 6 and their knowledge base is at grade 2 or grade 1, then there has to be a formative plan to bridge their knowledge gap very quickly. There has to be that structure, there has to be that plan. So there has to be that evaluation of people. There would, in creating a structure and a framework, you'd cover what are the most likely possibilities. And then after covering the most likely possibilities, so most likely somebody has never heard of quality before, they're coming in as okay, this is John. I know John, so I know you're speaking from a medical laboratory setting. I know they're coming in as probably a lab scientist, and they probably know little to nothing about quality management. What do I do? There is the part of creating what are the most pertinent need to know for a lab scientist. Create that structure, create that learning plan, create that knowledge, and create a plan for them to bridge that knowledge gap. It may involve them having 1 hour extra either before or after work for a particular period of time until that formation is done, is completed. But that has to be created. Otherwise, there's more harm than good that may be done to the system by just leaving them to go. So there has to be that intentional framework created and adjustments made at the organization level to allow the people go through this learning process. But it doesn't have to, totally, shall I call it bedevil the entire system, because that is human resource already being paid for. Yeah, okay, so Bienvenue has said staff orientation, competency assessments to inform training plan. Exactly what I've said in plain terms. Okay, but I know that in John's context, they have competency assessment, they have trainings, they have all of those things. But I think I can understand that within this particular context, there's still that gap. There's still that place before even in their formation, but they are still expected to be on the bench. So they've gone through the orientation period, or they are in the orientation period, or they've gone through the orientation period. They've gone through the initial training. They are now on the bench. There's still a knowledge gap. There's still that wide knowledge gap. How is it bridged? And that's what I answered. Thank you, Bienvenue, for sharing. Yeah. John says I can do it for the girls. Okay. All right. So I think I've run through all the questions at the nick of time. Thank you all for coming. If you have any further questions, please do let us know. You can somebody drop our social media handles, LinkedIn especially, in the chats there, and we would definitely respond if you have any further questions. But follow us and you see answers to many of the other questions as we go along in the month of December. It is our honor and privilege to be able to wish you a happy new month in advance. 2 days, 3 days, 2 days before the new month. So happy new month in advance. And thank you for coming. Do we have anybody wanting to say anything? Do you want to raise a hand? Do you want to unmute your mic? Okay. Thank you, John. It was a pleasure having you here as well. So do follow us and also fill our feedback form that will be shared in the chat in a jiffy. And yeah. How has this been for you? Let me know before we run away. How has it been for you? How have you found the session? Bienvenue, thank you for sharing insights and being and engaging so well, John, as well. Sharila. Yeah, it's not a very big house today, but yeah. And Felix. I'll stop at Felix. All right. How's it been? How has the session been for you? Thank you. My first name is Nene. Bienvenue. Nene. My surname is Ache. Thank you so much. Thank you, Felix. I hope you're able to get answers. And if I didn't touch your own question, I'm so sorry. We'll touch it during the month. We will definitely touch it during the month, in the course of the month. Okay, so please share your feedback with us and let us. Thank you, Bienvenue. Thank you for going the extra mile to be right that. Share your feedback with us and let us know what else you'd like to hear from us, to know from us, and how else we can serve you. Thank you. Thank you, John. We have this interaction every month in venue. We have this every month. So every month for sure you would hear from us. Okay, so that was actually on the slide. I didn't get to the slide. Yes, it holds monthly. And the next time, don't worry, your mics will be unmuted. Will be set to unmute so that you can actually unmute yourselves, and we can actually speak together. Because now I was speaking alone, and it felt like a soliloquy. But I know I was talking to you because you were responding. Thank you. All right. So please do us the kind gesture of filling the feedback form. We want to know, we want to improve, we want to be able to serve you better. So please let us know how we can serve you better, what else you'd like to know, and then we'll see again, same period next month. Thank you so much for coming and have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, depending on where you are. Goodbye. Thank you. Cheerio.